Good morning, good morning, good morning. Buenos dias, mi gente. Yo. Welcome to Daily Discipline number 222. Rob Hoback here. It is Sunday, fun day, May the 26th. No days off, so we're going to get right after it. First things first, I'm still the realist. I'm also OTS. What's that mean? On the spectrum. So we've talked about this. My little guy, Jack, you know, slow to speak, has some other tendencies that would be considered on the spectrum for autism. And as I think about the way things are described, rigid, lack of empathy, doesn't want to make eye contact, very rigid about things and lines, just I look around, I'm like, man, there's a lot of very successful people who do things that would be considered on the spectrum. I'm certainly on there. Um, Why do I talk about that? I watched a 30 for 30 yesterday morning about the mother of a autistic kid. It's a beautiful story. I'm not going to get into it here, but it was just on my mind. And it gets me emotional every time I think about little Jack. He's going to be fine. He's good. He's working through his stuff. He's getting some therapy where he needs it. And, he's going to be on the spectrum the rest of his life like a whole bunch of the rest of us. It is what it is. Part of what makes him awesome. So thank yous. I'm thankful that I'm safe. Um, More deadly tornadoes rolled through the area last night. We had a couple people lose their lives over in El Reno, which is where there was a huge tornado just like 6 years ago, almost to the day. So it's odd. The patterns are odd. A lot of the same regions see tornadoes. So El Reno, just that Oklahoma City area. But thankfully, I'm safe. My family's safe. We're all good. So um, today it's Sunday. Sunday fun day. Week 21, we're going to do weekend review. What did we learn? So if we go back to last Sunday, we were talking about the confidence. Confidence is the key. If you want to be successful, you have to be confident. You have to be confident in yourself, in your abilities, your plan, all of those things, and just seeing the kids who are confident and how they performed at the recital, that's really no different than life. So confidence is key. Number two, we talked about the underreporting of good news and how we focus on the negative. Um, just what I wrote down is find the light switch, right? You know that light overcomes darkness. And if everybody just wants to talk about the negative stuff, let's talk about the positive stuff. So one of the things in that episode that I talked about was Kawhi Leonard. What a great example that guy's been. Well, they were down 0-2. They finished up that series last night, so he's moving. He and his team are moving on to the NBA Finals. Just more success for him. So, um, dependability. Oh, that's our most important ability. Everybody's got to know you're going to show up. I talked about this last night about as I become older and observant of patterns, like the difference between varying levels of success is how many days off do you take? And you just can't take lots of days off, right? I mean, it has to be rare in life. Same from your job, I'm saying in life. So, dependability. Everybody needs to know that you're going to show up. Find your people. Remember this? This is when I found myself down in Dallas, surrounded by a bunch of positive and successful people in it, and it just immediately raised my spirit. Now, obviously, I can't do that every week, but I can find other people. So I'm saying, find them. Find other people that think like you, and surround yourself with them. And if your people are negative and all that, then just know we're probably not going to be friends. Just saying. Um, Give 1 degree more. Talk about the difference between 211, 212. And this is just, yesterday, flipping through the channels, came across a story where Tom Brady was posting pictures of himself with Julian Edelman and, their new wide receiver they just got through the draft. And so while they were working, right, they gave 1% more. Said, let's have a cookout. And why don't you come over your house? And while you're here, we'll just go ahead and run some routes. Right? Like we've talked about Tom Brady. As a matter of fact, I think I've from this hotel talked about Tom Brady. Um, But anyway, they give 1% more. If like you want to be that successful, you got to be willing to do what other people like practicing during Memorial Day cooking. Um, imitation is flattery. You know, finding your groove. Uncle Buck, that's a new name, but it's not a new person. I just figured out what I'm gonna call him. But Uncle Buck talks about he checks up on me all the time. He's probably, when we're talking like total package, the most successful person in my network, financially, um, his family, with his business, with his outlook on life. Like he's found his groove. And because like he's doing what everybody, like all of these messengers tell me, like the Tim McGraw song, when you get where you go and turn around and help somebody, like that's what he does. He calls and checks up on me. He doesn't have to. And he's not checking up on me like, there's something wrong with me. He's checking up on me saying, hey, that's my guy, and I want to see him find his groove. And so the point of that video, imitation is flattery, is that like my game is a bunch of the way I live my life in a lot of ways are things that I've picked up along the way from other people that I'm like, I really like that. Sometimes I don't know, it's just a bunch of different stuff. And so um, we should be flattered when somebody, wants to behave like us in a positive way. And so, and just understand that if we're finding our people and we're surrounding ourselves with successful people, we'll pick up some of their habits too. And then yesterday I was a little fired up. I think I was fired up when I made that video for several reasons. Number one, I was tired, been exhausted. Last week was a long week with a lot of travel. I'm traveling this weekend, traveling a little bit next week. Just a lot going on. And then, not being able to, or not seeing the kids as much as I was used to. Just all of that. And then just back to back stories. The story that I observed about the Trail of Tears, then another one because there was here in Tulsa, there was a celebration for Black Wall Street, and they just touched me, right? They just touched me. I think part of that was also some situations I was in this week with some very powerful people where I interfaced with them directly and understanding that they have the power to influence how large amounts of people live their lives, and in some ways that's a little overwhelming. But to wrap this all up, I'll say the key themes this week is number one, because I was confident going into it, I had a great week. Number two is that while my confidence was shaken because of some situations I was in the last 2 years, however long, um, it shouldn't be. When I look at the facts, when I'm around other people, people that matter, key stakeholders in my life, my career, they tell me that it's all good, right? Like that I should be very confident. And so my self-esteem problem at times is my self-esteem problem. It's things that I've either created in my mind or I've allowed to become something in my mind. Um, and the last thing I wrote this down, the stock room is full. The toolbox is full. I got everything I need and then some. That's why I have an amazing life that's only going to get better. So I'm going to leave you guys as I talk about that with this little story, right? I talk about, what I did on different weekends. And so I was chatting with somebody on the phone Friday as I was driving back, talking about the Memorial Day weekend and going to the Indy 500. And so, again, in this charm life, I've had the opportunity to watch several Indy 500s from a suite, right? And when I think about that, like, these things just like, if you'd have told, again, Hannah Street Steak and Shake Rob, that this was going to be his life, I'd have been like, yeah. And so some people, number one, never get to go to anything like that. But I didn't get to just go to it. I got to go sit like in a suite. The difference between sitting in a suite, watching an outdoor event, and sitting inside, especially when weather can be difficult, like it can be on Memorial Day weekend, um, just it's been it. I have so much to be thankful for. I know. Hands up. Peace out. We're better together. I appreciate you guys stopping by. I'll be back tomorrow morning. Love you. I'll talk to you then.